Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art. Today's day 72 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. They're short 15-minute videos every morning teaching you guys how to make different pieces of ephemera and how to make junk journals and how to decorate junk journals. So let's get started with day 72. It is a Glassine bag mini journal. So we're going to take a Glassine bag. You can make them out of any size Glassine bag. And we're going to turn this into a mini journal. So let's get started. So I have pulled the Glassine bags. I've pulled what I put in every single journal I make, even tiny ones. I try to fit in antique book page, rag paper book page. I try to fit in antique French ledger, music paper, digitals, double side printed digitals. So I've got, one print on one side, one print on another side. So there's no white paper. And of course, copy dyed paper to fill in for writing space. So even though it is made out of a Glassine bag, it is still going to have all the beautiful paper that we put in journals. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my bag in half. It does not matter which way you fold it, as far as whether you have, the opening in the front, the opening on the inside, it doesn't matter. I'm actually going to flip it and turn it so that the opening, so the longer part, is on the outside. So the shorter part of that bag opening is on the inside. So now I've got mine looking like this, where the long part is on the outside and the opening is on the inside. And that's where I'm going to stick some journal cards. Before I do anything else, I want to open up the bottom part so that we can put journaling cards in there as well, tags, whatever, it doesn't matter. And so I'm going to open up that part of it. And now we should have an opening on both sides. This little piece, if it wants to come off, we're just going to tack that back down with some glue in a minute. So there's our journal cover with places to add ephemera. And now we're going to make our signature for here. I believe this little book page is close to the size, so that's okay. I don't even mind if some stuff sticks out. That's all right. And I'm not going to do any page reinforcing. This is just a small little journal. You could give this away as a gift. You could give it away as a gift, like make little ones and send them in Happy Meals. You could also, Happy Mails, not Happy Meals. You could also include them in a pocket of a junk journal. So, it's like a little piece of ephemera to add writing space. So if you ever make a junk journal and you've just embellished all the pages and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't leave any writing space in this journal, this is a good way to add writing space to an over embellished journal. Don't get me wrong, I love over embellished journals. I am guilty of making them that way on accident myself too. So just, add in some writing space. This is perfect. They can either journal on this little book, or they can actually use it to tear out the pages, and then they can work with this supplies that you're giving them in this mini journal. So you can see I'm tearing down my pages, making sure that they're all going to be the right size in my journal. And it doesn't matter whether they're crooked or straight or anything like that. This is a quick, fun little project. Let's go ahead and add some Florentine paper in here. This will be really long, but let's just do it. And if it tears crooked, then it tears crooked. I'm okay with that, which it did. It's all good. Let's use the short side because we know that we don't have a whole lot of room. So there's that. And then for this one, I'm just going to cut it. So right now I'm sizing all my papers and I'm just rough sizing them. I don't care about what's sticking out. That's all right. And for digitals, I'm just going to fold them in half. And I'm going to use half of one digital as a page, just like this. This is 28-pound paper, so it's nice and sturdy. And I'll also use half of this one so that we have two different prints, not the same paper on either side. So plenty of fun things to play with in these journals. Now let's do some copy dyed paper. I've got a couple sheets here. We'll probably not get more than 2 in. So one paper torn in half. And so I'm going to make this just, a pretty little mini journal. I might put it in the botanical journals. I'm not sure. The botanical journals are the ones I'm working on right now, or getting ready to work on. So we need to size our pages. Anything that's going to be too wide, I'm just going to fold it in on itself, and it will be a little tuck. And we'll do this one where we fold in this side and then fold it in half. I like the fact that your pages end up to be all different sizes. Your papers are going different directions. Look how pretty that one is. That's a gorgeous paper. And so we fold it in that way. And then this one we're going to fold in the other way. You could cut off your little tucked parts. You don't have to make them little tucks, but I just feel like, you know, they're there. We might as well include them in the signature. So I think we're ready to assemble this guy. I'm going to open up with one of these pages. That looks like a nice page. Then let's go ahead and put some book page and then a coffee dyed paper. So this is mini journals from Glassine bags, and we're going to have pockets in the front that's going to have ephemera in there. There's that one. We might need to tear some of that off. Let's do book page again, and then let's do our music page. No, let's do ledger. And let's do this guy, and then coffee dyed. Actually, let's do music. And then coffee dyed. And there's our little signature. It's a chunky little signature. Got lots of fun pages in there. Now we're going to sew that right into the center of this Glassine bag. It's sticking out just a little tiny bit. The only thing that I'm going to trim off is that one little bit of paper there. And I'm just going to rough trim it. There we go. We can fix that later. Let's get this guy sewn in. Now sewing in and making some ephemera to go in those pockets. So here's all of my binding supplies. I'm going to put my little journal in there. And even though it's a mini one, I'm going to clip it. You really didn't need to clip it because it's just tiny little journal, but I'm going to do it. Just hold it together and then grab my other clip and clip it here. And now I'm going to sew this in. Then we're going to make the ephemera for the pockets. So after that, I'm just going to poke 2 holes to bind this. It's just a simple little journal, 2-hole binding. You can take it out, and I'm going to make these holes just a little bit bigger, easier and faster sewing in. We're going to put fabric down the spine of this to cover our binding strings. Anyway, it will be a fully decorated journal. It's just a little guy. So I'm just going in 1 hole and back out the other and tying in the center. Super easy binding. It's just a little one, so you don't need to do your full 3 or 5 pamphlet stitch. It's all good. So let's put that together, even out our strings, tie a knot in the center, and boom, you have a tiny little journal. Now I will say that putting the knot here, washi tape will hold that knot for you. If you wanted to get it a little tighter, it is important that that be tight. So just try to make it tight as you put your knot down. It is kind of loose there. That's all right. There we go. We've got it triple knotted. And then from there, we're going to start working on those ephemera pieces and the cover. So you have signature strings. You can tie beads or charms or whatever you want there. I didn't add in any doilies or, little pockets or bags or anything in it. It's just a simple little journal. Let's go ahead and put some fabric down the spine of this. I think I really just want to use some of this kind of rough fabric. I don't know what to call it. It's rough and it's coffee dyed. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of this, and we're going to use that to cover the spine. You can tear this one as well. So there's our little fabric for the spine. And then I'm going to just cut this into a smaller piece and tear it. And this is what's going to go right down here. Now for that, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac and get that on there. And I'm really worried, mostly about getting my glue on my signature strings here. So I start with the glue right on the string and the holes, and then I'll kind of go up from there. You're putting it on Glassine. So remember, Glassine is meant to be non-stick, and that is why I recommend using Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac will stick to this, but I recommend using Fabri-Tac. It is a nice, thick, strong, sturdy glue. And I'm just putting the glue where I want my fabric to cover. And then we're going to take our fabric piece, put our fabric there, put our journal about halfway, and then wrap that fabric around. And now it is on. We're a little larger in the back. I'll try to pull it more to the front. Make sure nothing's stuck under there. And we have a little glue coming through. I think that's okay. I didn't spread out my glue. That was my bad. It's okay. So there is our cover. This is the front of it right here. It's good. It's all on there. We've got our signature strings. This fabric is meant to fray. We can decorate the front, but we are going to put a journal card that you will be able to see in the pockets. That's kind of the point of using a glassine bag to do this, is whatever you put in here, you're going to see. So now we're going to make a very cute little journal card to go in the front and the back. And for those, I have index cards. Index cards that are coffee dyed, they're already started because they have coffee dye all over them. So you don't need to worry about adding coffee dyed paper to the back of your journal card. And so for this journal, the 3x5 journal cards will fit perfectly into this little bag. So we're just going to decorate up 2 of these just like you would a tag or a journal card with, you know, a nice focal point right here. Now we can still decorate over the top, but you'll be able to see this journal card in the back. So let's go ahead and start decorating these 2. For that, let me move these other papers out of the way. For that, we have some offcuts of paper. You can raise your scrap bin. I know that I want to put some of this Florentine paper just because, you know, it's so bright and colorful. We can get some of that on there. So I'm just going to start by tearing that. That will work. And then I want some book page. This book page will also work. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that book page right on there. So we'll get a glue stick out and we'll get that glued. And so I'm just going to add glue everywhere. And this one, I don't know if this index card has lines on the back of it or not. It doesn't really matter either way. And I'll hold it down. And I'm worried about getting the paper up at the top mostly. And we'll worry about that bottom when we collage the rest of it. And so for now, just to see my card, I'm going to tear this off. We're going to ink up the edge of this, and then we're going to put that on there. And so I don't know where my little craft paper is, right here, so that I can glue. And there we go. We got glue on there. Lots of things happening today. Journal card decorating, journal making, all the good fun things. There we go. So now we need a focal point for that one and a label. And let's look at the other one. I do have some offcuts of cardstock just so it's not same. Maybe we use one of these as the base. That would be kind of fun. So let's use this one maybe. What one is? Yep, that's the right size. So let's use this one. And I'm just going to cut it to about the right size this way. And we're going to use this instead of the index card for one of the pockets, just so that there's, you know, not the same thing happening in both pockets. And it gives us a jump start on ephemera too. Let's decorate this side and let's put some book page on that. So here's a nice piece of book page. We can bring this down and tear it there. That's good. Let's glue that. That little tail's just going to tear off, so that's all good. We'll get this one glued on. So you're collaging up your 2 journal cards and putting them in those pockets. That needs to shimmy over. There we go. And I think that's probably good for that one. We'll see as we decorate these 2. So then we need to just trim off any excess bits before we move forward. It kind of helps center your focal points if you trim off and clean up all your edges, because then you know where your exact center focal point needs to go. So that's why I trim it before I move forward. This one, we just have this little corner right here to worry about. There's that. So there's our cards. We need focal points. The focal points, I'm going to probably put mushrooms or flowers. Okay, so I've picked out some focal points and I've inked all the way around my cards. And now I'm ready to glue these on. We're going to put this butterfly right here. And so we're going to make these more geared towards the field note journals, the botanical journals. We'll see if I end up putting them in there, but that's what I did there. So it's just kind of getting centered near the top up there. And then I've got a gigantic field note label. And that guy's going to go right here. And butterfly needs to go right on top. There we go. There we go. There's that. Everything's kind of centered to one side there. That's good. And then let's do this flower on the other one. We're going to have to cut off some of the little bits of this flower. It's just too big for this little card, but I like the colors of it. So we'll see what we have to cut off. Crazy with my glue. Let's get that on there like that. And we'll cut off some, and I got a little label for that one. So we did fully decorated little journal cards. They're going to go in that bag. Now, normally when I put things in the little bag journals like this, I do put tabs on the journal cards. So we'll probably need to do little tabs on these. It just helps get them in and out of their little bags, a little glassine bag cover. So they do have lined writing space. Well, that one did have lined writing space on the back. I need to tack these little bits down right there. And then we'll add some tabs to these and put them in our little journal. And let's see if we need to decorate the cover more or if the cover will be okay. So in 15 minutes, essentially, we have made a journal. Let's see how this one looks in this bag. And then if we don't like this one, we will put in the other one. So we can see the flowers on that side. That looks cute, but maybe we want this one. So we can do that one. That looks cute too. Now I think I am going to go ahead and decorate the front of the bag, but we've got these, and these can go either way in the bag. You can see we're adding the tab would help get them in and out. You could also thumb hole notch your little bags, which I might do that just to help with it. I'm going to do this one this way so you can see it from that end. But see how adding a little tab to help get it in and out will help. I'm going to thumb hole notch this bag right there. Now it's glassine, so you get what you get. You need to put cardstock back there. And I hate to waste a card for that, but I don't have scrap cardstock over here. So we're going to waste a little card for punching, and that's going to be okay. Let me see how I can do this. Maybe I can't. Let's just cut it with scissors after all that fussing. If you put a card, I mean, it's basically torn where the little punch was, but it's glassine and it's thin. So there, I just needed to snip it a little bit. But if you put a card, if you ever have trouble punching, put cardstock behind it, and that will help the punch work better, just to give it some thickness. So there's that. And then from there, we can put little tabs on these. Let's go ahead and add a couple little pockets fast if we can. Some other kind of ephemera in here. I might just paper clip some little ephemera in here with little tiny Tim Holtz clips. I would like to decorate the front of this. I don't know what we have time for, but maybe we can poke that down there at the bottom with the little stenciled number. Let's do that. Let's ink it up, and then let's put a focal point on. Oh, my glues are falling over there. So let's just ink up the little edge. We'll trim some off probably, but giving it an ink. Let's glue it. It's going on glassine, so you could use glue stick. That would be okay, but I think it's going to be faster for me just to add the art glitter glue. So guys, we made a whole glassine mini bag, mini journal in basically 20 minutes. I think they're fun pieces of ephemera to have on hand. You can go ahead and make them ahead of time. I'm going to slide that back over so that my number can show. There we go. So fun pieces to have on hand, made up ahead of time. And then, you know, you can poke them in a little pocket in a journal. They're not too thick. You could totally put this in a pocket in a journal. You could also give them away as little happy mails to your friends. I see some pretty flowers in this one. Maybe we just add some pretty flowers. I've got this larger flower right here. Let's ink that up and put that on the cover. I mean, there are many other ones we could choose from in here too. Let's see. Digging. This pack of ephemera is called Organic. It's Layers Organic. Ooh, there's this giant bird's nest. I'm going to do the bird's nest. Let's do it. It's fun. So there's that. Of course it needs inked. Don't be worried about, and I've said this several times, don't be worried about the white edge around your little layers from Tim Holtz. They ink up super easy and they're really cute. And you know, you don't have to fussy cut them. I think the Tim Holtz stuff does not get used enough in junk journals. I know a lot of junk journal makers use it, and then for whatever reason, people don't like to use it. And I'm just, you know, not going to get caught up in all of the whatever out there. I think they're fun and I think they're great to use for junk journals. And I've been using them for a while and showing you guys all the different ways of using the little Tim Holtz ephemera for junk journals. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed that. We need a nice label right here. I don't know if I will find one in time, but let's see. Well, I have all kinds of tiny ones, but I need something a little larger. I will have to do that off camera later, but just a cute little label right here. And our little journal is done. We can tie some charms, some nice rustic beads or charms on there. And then we've got fabric going down our spine to reinforce everything. This is our cover. We'll have our journal card flipped the other way now because you can't see it anyway. So we'll put the journal card in there. We'll put a little tab on it to help get it in and out of the bag. We've got a whole bunch of cute little pages with flip outs everywhere in this journal. They're super cute. It was done in basically 20 minutes, guys. And I know you can use scraps from your scrap bin to make this little journal. You all should have a Glassine bag. If you've ever gotten kits from me, I usually include a Glassine bag or some kind of other, you know, bag. It doesn't have to be a Glassine bag. It could just be like a paper bag from the pharmacy even. But it's a super cute little journal with stuff. You can add more pockets, whatever. For a closure, you know, I would probably just put a little clip on it. That seems like the easiest thing to do for a closure for this guy. Now, if you make it too thick, you may need to add a different little closure, but just a little clip would work. You could even clip it up here at the top and that would hold it closed. Clip it from the side too, and that will hold it. There we go. So many different options for this little journal. I hope you guys enjoyed this project and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks so much.